Okay, fam, welcome back. So today we're going to be going over the Grayscale Trust's max profit targets. So with that being said, let's get it. All right, so we'll cover the actual days worth of trading in a separate video, but today we're going to go over the actual max profit targets. Again, the markets are starting to rip. I mean, a lot of the coins, the miners, all that stuff, they're starting to go up. Okay, Bitcoin's up above 100,000. I can tell you guys right now, I'm pretty confident that in the next, I'd say, week to 2 weeks, we're probably going to see Bitcoin and especially Ethereum and the altcoins really start to moonshot. Okay, I think Bitcoin getting above 100,000 is it's a big deal. And it got back below 100,000 and then went back above 100,000, which tells me that likely the price is going much, much higher, which means that anything Bitcoin related, including the miners, is probably going to start moonshotting beginning Monday of next week. As a matter of fact, the miners have already gone up pretty substantially for today. We'll cover this in a separate video, but you guys can see them here. They were up a lot more before the close of the session, but the fact that they're up at all is a good sign. That's to be expected right around this time of the halving year. And the crypto stocks are also up as well. Okay, so let's get straight into it. Just so you guys know, channel memberships are available. You can get them. They are on a monthly basis. It's $25 a month. You just have to click the join button below the video. If you don't want to get access to it, you don't have to, but this stuff is time sensitive. You may want to have it ahead of time to be able to kind of formulate your exit strategy, so to speak. And again, if you get one and you decide you don't want it, you can always cancel. So let's start with LTCN here. So price range is going anywhere from 81 up to 200. Nice broad range there. Keep in mind, this is all before the all-time highs. The all-time highs are at 510 all the way up here, as you guys can see. And yeah, I mean, these prices rocketed in November of the last halving cycle, but this cycle has been a little bit different. I mean, Bitcoin went to all-time highs before it was supposed to because of the spot Bitcoin ETFs, and then we had that pullback in time, and then the price is going up again to new all-time highs. So I think it's, I'm not going to say it's impossible to predict where exactly LTCN is going to go, where it's going to top all that stuff, but I do think likely there is a lot more upside to go. Again, part of the reason being is because Bitcoin likely is still not even close to its true all-time high, and Litecoin also is not even close to its previous all-time high, so do keep that in mind. Okay, so we got 830, 1350, roughly about 1840 and 2100. So, I mean, if it goes to 2100, there's your 100x right there. It could definitely happen. I mean, it happened for Dogecoin. I'm not sure if it happened for BNB. I remember at one point BNB was like $20. Now it's like 700. So not quite 100x, but 35x, still not bad. Okay, so BCHG, you know, it's funny. We said we were thinking about buying it, and then we were like, okay, we might buy it down here at this line. And as soon as we said that, we didn't get in, and guess what happened? The thing pumped. So, it's the story of the markets. Unfortunately, sometimes, you know, the markets just don't give people time to wait. It's like you either act immediately when you see the opportunity, or maybe you'll get more time, maybe you won't. In this case, we didn't. So we just moved on to something else. Okay, so 36, 55, 74, and 86 respectively. So potentially as much as a 10x on this one. So here's the kind of bigger resistance zone up here at the top. Again, it could just shoot straight through this. This is crypto. Anything in crypto is notorious for doing that, just completely disrespecting resistance levels in a bull run. So we got 96, 155, 215, and roughly about 250 on this one. So nice clean 25x. Would it shock me if this happened? Not really. I mean, again, you know, I've personally seen many cryptocurrencies surpass their all-time highs and just do absolutely stupid, I mean, just completely retarded gains. Like, you wouldn't even believe it. It's eye-popping, the kind of gains that can be had in these bull runs. Okay, so 16, 24, 32, and roughly about 38 on HZEN. So top measurement there, probably roughly about a good clean 6, maybe 6.5x on this one. I do think HZEN, the trust and the underlying token Zen have a lot of potential because cycle over cycle, Horizon itself has done new highs, which is always a good sign. So 50, 80, 110, and 125 here. So yeah, nice clean. What would that be? About a 20x. Now, if Horizon for a third cycle in a row does an even higher high, which I think the last cycle, the high was like at about 170. Again, we have Horizon, so we'll talk about that in a separate video. But if it goes to like 250 or something in the cycle, which could definitely happen, then I would say that Horizon or the HZEN trust could easily go past 120. I would not be shocked if that was true. Okay, so ETCG, it looks like it might be, especially with Ethereum. We'll talk about Ethereum in a separate video, but it does look like Ethereum's getting ready to break out as well. There's already been confirmation on lower time frames. We're just waiting to see the daily and the weekly close. But if that happens, yeah, these ETH trusts are probably going to start kicking off pretty hard. Once it gets past this top up here at 20, it's probably going to start flying pretty quickly up to this next level in somewhere between 40 to 50. But again, we're not here to talk about structure. We're just here to talk about the maximum potential moves here. We'll save all the TA and day trading and swing trading, all the ins and outs of it all for separate series, separate videos. Okay, so 27, 40, 52, and 60 respectively on this one. So even just from the micro perspective, a nice clean 3-ish X. And the big papa here, Big Daddy, macro size. What do they call it? Extra large. The triple whopper version. All right, so 160, 250 here, 350, and roughly about 410 respectively. So at least a 15, I'd say at least a good 15x, maybe even a 20x. I mean, it depends on what Ethereum does. If Ethereum pulls a 2017 on Bitcoin and it goes up to $20,000 per ETH, I mean, yeah, that could definitely happen on this trust. I'd say a 20x would easily be possible. Okay, so ETH getting ready to potentially break this structure here at about this 36 area. We're getting pretty close to it. Again, that doesn't shock me because ETH is starting to push against that 4,000 level. So let's cover this little micro zone here. And again, once we get either a daily or weekly close above this structure level here at the 1 on the Fibonacci, which is about 3650, that is confirmation that these Fibonaccis will become relevant and the price will probably push to anywhere in these zones. So you got 50, 67, 84, and 96. Now, if you guys didn't understand why I was saying this before, that these Fibonaccis would become relevant, now you do. Because again, once it breaks structure on a bullish Fibonacci, then based on the retracement, then that's likely where it's going to ultimately head. Okay, so in this case, somewhere around a 2.5 to 3x. So not bad, right? Not bad. I mean, you can make a lot of money on Ethereum, but you can make a lot more money on the altcoins. I mean, I think Ethereum is a great project, and we would definitely love to have some long term for sure at the right prices, like Bitcoin. But again, the real money is in the altcoins. Doesn't mean you can't make money on these. I mean, if you do rotation, you rotate out of ETH once you think it's roughly going to be at the highs. We'll cover that in some content. If you can still manage to get some of these altcoins on maybe when they're still relatively cheap or on a future dip or something like that, then maybe that rotation would make sense. Okay, so 110, 180, 235, and looks like about 280 on this one. So nice clean 7, 8, maybe 9x on this. Yeah, that's definitely possible. I mean, Ethereum from the lows, I think ETH was like, it bottomed out at like 800 or $1,000 or something like that during the bull run. So if for whatever reason it does hit $20,000, that is roughly about a 20x. So yeah, definitely could happen. Okay, GBAT, there's only one measurement here because again, we hit all-time highs this cycle. So 51, looks like about 80, 110, and 120. I'll just call that 130 respectively. So nice round numbers, easy to remember, right? So roughly about a 13x on this one. We'll do the same thing with Fill G or File G. And again, Filecoin has barely moved. I suspect Filecoin probably will have the bulk of its move once Bitcoin is topped out and Ethereum starts moonshotting. I suspect that's when Filecoin's really going to take off to the upside. Okay, so 650, 1020, 1400, and 1630 respectively. And just so you all know, Bitcoin and Ethereum can go up at the same time. But what I'm referring to here is if Bitcoin and Ethereum are going up at the same time, but they're both skyrocketing, I wouldn't count that as Bitcoin topping out. Okay, I would need to see Bitcoin do something like maybe like this, just kind of chop around here a little bit. It's really ugly, I know. While Ethereum's doing this, okay? What I'm saying is Bitcoin and Ethereum can run at the same time, but when Bitcoin does eventually consolidate and Ethereum continues to run, that's when I suspect that a lot of the legacy coins like Filecoin will probably start really having the largest moves that we're likely going to see on these. And again, it could happen twice this cycle. It depends on if we get some kind of mid-cycle correction. In my opinion, I don't think that's going to happen because, again, the pullback in time we had for that 8 months after the top that Bitcoin had at 75K, in my opinion, I think that was actually the mid-cycle top, or I think that was the mid-cycle correction that we're going to see is what I'm saying. Okay, so GLIV, we got looks like 125, 200, 270, and 310 here. So potentially as much as 15x on this one. G-Link, same thing, just a one and done on this. So you got 350, 530, looks like about 730 and 850 respectively. So 850, I mean, you'd be talking maybe like an 8, 9x on this one, which is still not bad. I mean, I don't think anybody that's in crypto is going to be upset about a 10x. I mean, you got your Bitcoin maxis out there that they're happy if they get like a 2, 3, 4x on Bitcoin. They don't care, because they're in it for the long run. They're expecting Bitcoin to go to $1 million, which it could eventually do. That's possible. Absolutely. Do I think it's going to do it this cycle? Well, I'll say the same thing I said about the 2026 bear market. We'll just have to wait and see. Okay. If for some reason the spot Bitcoin ETFs have truly changed the landscape of the 4-year cycles, then there should not be a bear market in 2026. But we have to get to 2026 to be able to see that. Okay. We're not there yet. Okay. So GSOL. Looks like about 890, 1440 on this one, about 1950 and 2250 respectively. So at least a 10x. I mean, I don't know if Solana goes from 200 to 1,000, that's like, or 250 to 1,000, I should say. I mean, that's a 4x. Is it much of a stretch to think that, this thing could do a 10x, especially after a dump like this? I wouldn't be surprised. I would not be shocked at all. Okay, so GXLM. Yeah, we're going to have to do a double on this one. You guys can see GXLM does look like it's pushing up to break structure there. So when that happens, try to get that to you guys out as fast as possible on X so you know what to look for. Okay, so 105 here, 160, roughly about 220 and 250 respectively. So nice, good, clean 5x potentially on this one. And for the big daddy here, we're looking at potentially 150, 160, 250, 340, and about $400. So 8x. Yeah, I'd say that's definitely possible. I know that Stellar Lumens has gone up a lot, but again, I have a feeling based on all the macroeconomics that we're seeing, the Trump administration, all that stuff, all the crypto bullish picks that he's had, the national Bitcoin stockpile, the spot Bitcoin ETFs, not to mention all the other potential ETFs coming, like I think there's obviously the ETH ones, Litecoin. I think there was like an HBAR one and something like that. I'm just going to come out and say that I think that this alt season is probably going to be the most explosive alt season we have ever seen in crypto ever. Okay. I mean, literally ever. And again, I know we've only had two because technically all the coins didn't even come into existence until roughly about 2017, 16, 15, somewhere there. But I really do think this alt season is going to be absolutely ridiculous. Okay. I'm just going to say it. Okay. So mana 110, 180, 250, and about, we'll just round that up and call it 290. So 14, 15x. Yeah, I could definitely see that happening. I mean, Decentraland is one that we've stated before that is very, very likely going to have a good bull run this cycle. Okay, so last one here is Zcash. All right, so we got about 14, 30, 22, 29, 33 respectively. So 33, so I'd say about 5x, roughly about a 5x on this one. I definitely think that could happen even after Zcash's most recent move. I would say that's definitely possible. Okay, so 65, 100, 140, and 165 respectively. So 165, trying to think of what that would be. That'd be like roughly around a 20 something X on this one. And again, the reason why I think Zcash could easily do these numbers because Zcash is a privacy token. With Trump and all of his pro crypto picks that he has that's coming into office, do I think that they're going to be worried in the whole deregulation thing by Doge and all that? Do I think they're going to be worried about privacy tokens? Probably not. I mean, a lot of these same politicians, Trump included, actually own cryptocurrencies. Do I think they're worried about privacy tokens? Not really. I mean, if you got the United States buying Bitcoin and then all these other countries all of a sudden want to start buying Bitcoin so they can compete with the US, well, what do you think that means for crypto as a whole? That means it's pretty bullish, right? It means that the entire world is starting to become much more bullish and not so negative against crypto because at this point, by the time we see the cycles top out, in terms of the total market cap for Total One this cycle, we could be sitting at like 10, 11, 12 trillion dollars in the crypto space by the cycle peak. Okay, that's an absolutely stupid amount of money compared to where we're sitting now. So it wouldn't shock me at all if they just wrote Zcash and other privacy tokens off like Monero and was like, yeah, whatever, we don't care. We're not gonna regulate it. We're not gonna try to fight it. We don't care because we want to create a bullish environment because it looks good for politicians when the markets go up, right? Okay, so anyways, hope you all enjoyed this content. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see y'all later. Peace.